Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, JG Sports here, and I'm bringing you guys the game preview of my Cleveland Browns taking on the Houston Texans in Week 2 of the 2021 NFL season. My Browns came off a disappointing loss last week. They fell to the Chiefs, final score 33-29. Close game. We let that one slip away. We had the lead all the way up until the fourth quarter, but a few mistakes, a few fumbles and an interception lost us that game. So the Browns are 0-1 heading into this game. And then on the other side, we've got the Houston Texans who are actually 1-0. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars last week by a few touchdowns. They played pretty well. I know people are going to say, oh, well, it's just the Jaguars. They suck. They're trash. I mean, yeah, they're not the best team in the league, but, it still looks good. Texans offense looked really good last week. They have a lot of familiar faces. On the Texans. They have Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, who threw for 291 yards last week and two touchdowns. So he's coming off a really good performance. His confidence level's got to be pretty high. Taylor used to be the Browns quarterback for a little while, and then Baker kind of took over for him after he got injured. And ever since then, Baker's been our starter. Tyrod was let go. But yeah, he's a good quarterback. He was a good mentor for Mayfield as well. So it's gonna be interesting going up against him. I have a lot of respect for him. And then they also have some familiar faces. And Pharaoh Brown, he's a tight end. He used to be our tight end. Now he's on the Houston Texans. He's coming off a good game last week. And then on the defensive side, they got Money Mitchell, Terrence Mitchell, the cornerback who played for us last year, who stepped in when we really needed him last season when we were down, with injuries. So we're going to be going up against him. He's a solid cornerback. And then they've also got Christian Kirksey, our old linebacker who we had a few years ago. We had him for a while. He was really good. He's dealt with injuries, so we let him go, but they got him now. He's a really good linebacker. So yeah, Browns are gonna be faced with a tough challenge. Although I think we're better than Houston. When we're looking at the roster, I think we're better in Houston. They've still got a lot of good guys on that team. And technically, record-wise, they are the better team. So I don't want the Browns to overlook this game. It's a home opener. There's going to be a lot of energy. The crowd's going to be going crazy. This is the first time First Energy Stadium's going to be in full capacity since 2019. And I was there in 2019 for the home opener, and it was mind-blowing. Just the noise, the energy, just the fans. It was just a crazy atmosphere. And we lost that game. So hopefully we can win the home opener this year. I think we got a real good shot. But let's take a deeper dive into both teams here. So Brown's offense looked really sharp last week. Besides, just a few costly mistakes. Chubb ran for 85 yards, two touchdowns. Mayfield had 320 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he was just on fire. He did throw that pick at the end that was costly. So Brown's offense coming off a good game. The offensive line looked pretty good. Um, Jedrick Wills is questionable though in this game. He got injured pretty early on in the last game. It was tough to see him go down. But it seems like a pretty minor injury. It seems like we got lucky. I believe it's an ankle problem. And he's questionable in return. So hopefully we get him in the lineup. If not, I'm gonna be curious to see who they put in at left tackle. Whether it's gonna be Michael Dunn or Hudson or one of those guys. So we'll see what happens with that. And then OBJ was ruled out this game, unfortunately. They've already decided that last week. It was a last minute call. I thought, the way the coaches and the players made it sound, I thought he was going to be ready to go week one. But then all of a sudden, last second, things changed. Maybe he's not quite as ready as we thought he was. He is coming off that big injury, so, we can't just blame him and say, oh, he's weak. So, but, it's disappointing. But hopefully we can pull this one out without him this week, against Texans who aren't the best team in the league. So yeah, so offense, hopefully they can continue being explosive. We saw Anthony Schwartz last week, rookie receiver, have a big game. Had a few big catches, so I'm curious to see how Stefanski's going to use him again this week. Um, so yeah, and then as far as the defense side of the ball, defense looked okay. The defensive line was sometimes really good and sometimes not so good. Clowney was, I thought, pretty inconsistent last week. Some reps he had were really good, and then some he just looked bad. Of course, Miles Garrett, he's gonna have a big game. He always does. And then as far as linebacker goes, we lost Anthony Walker for 3 weeks due to injury. Not really sure what happened with that, but he is out with an injury for 3 weeks, and he's one of our best linebackers. He's also kind of like a captain of the defense. He calls the shots. So that's a really big blow right there. And our linebacker position's already the weakest position group that we have, I believe, on the team. So it's gonna be rough. However, big news is that Grant Delpit is gonna be making his NFL debut this week against Houston tomorrow, Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him. He had that injury, that horrible injury last season in training camp. So we didn't get to see him play at all in his rookie year. So I'm gonna love to see him on the field this game. I'm really happy for him. Obviously, he's one get out there, so I think he could really be a big determining factor in this game. So yeah, that's the defensive side of the ball. Now we're going up against the Texans offense, like I mentioned, who played really well last week. Tyrod Taylor did really well. Brandon Cooks, I believe is his name, was Houston's best receiver. He had over 100 yards last week. So they got some good receivers there. They got Pharaoh Brown, like I mentioned. And then defense side of the ball, they got some good guys. Texans defense had 3 takeaways last week. They picked off Trevor Lawrence 3 times, which is pretty good. Lawrence is good. It was his first, NFL game, so there's that. But they still took away the ball 3 times, which looks really good. And they're going to be looking to take away the ball from us last week, and they know that they can because we turned over the ball 2 or 3 times last week. So they're going to be looking to take away the ball from us. It's going to be the offense's job to secure the ball, not make those silly mistakes, and just play smart football. If we play smart football, protect the ball, on defense, cover well, put some pressure, I think we'll be fine in this game. I think we'll win. I don't think it's going to be too tough. Um, as far as my prediction goes, I think early on, I think it's going to be closer than people are going to think. I think the Browns are going to take a little bit of time to, kind of get in the swing of things this game. So I think it's going to be a close game. But then I think the second half, the Browns are going to pull away and get this victory. Um, I think the running game is going to be the big determining factor. Texans surrendered a lot of running yards last week against Jacksonville, and that's Jacksonville. We have two of the best running backs in the league in Chubb and Hunt. So I don't see how they're going to stop us, plus stop the play action game. So I think we're going to take this game in the second half. We're not going to let it slip away. Browns are playing with a lot of anger, a lot of motivation from last week after that disappointing loss. So I think we have a lot to play for. Score-wise, I'm going to say I think the offense is going to put up a lot of points. I think the score is going to be Browns 35, Texans 21. I think we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. Again, I think it's be a pretty close game in the first half, closer than people are going to realize or think. But then I think we're going to pull away the second half and secure that first win of the season at home in front of all the fans, the best fans in the world. So, yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen in this game? Who do you guys think is going to win? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Go Browns.